Alex woke with a sharp ache running through his side. The last thing he remembered was the mining drill slipping and the explosion of sparks as the machinery failed. He tried to move, but his body felt heavy, almost like he was floating in water. Slowly, he opened his eyes, and a strange sight met him. The room was filled with soft light, but it wasn't like any light he had ever seen. It glowed in shades of blue and green, shifting like gentle waves. The walls were smooth and shiny, with panels displaying symbols he could not understand. There were soft humming sounds like music, but not quite music. The air smelled faintly sweet and metallic at the same time. A figure approached him. She was tall, taller than most humans, and her skin glimmered faintly, changing color as she moved. Her eyes were large and gentle, glowing softly. On her skin, patterns of light shifted and flowed like living tattoos. Alex blinked, unsure if he was dreaming or if he had been transported to another world. "Are you awake?" she asked in a voice that sounded like a song, soft and soothing. The words were strange, but a device on her wrist translated them instantly into English. I think so," Alex said, trying to sit up. Pain shot through his chest and his arm, making him groan. "Please do not move too fast," she said. Her hand hovered near him, and a soft field of energy lifted him gently onto a wider bed. "You were badly injured." Alex looked at her and, almost without thinking, said, "Thank you, dear." The moment the words left his mouth, she froze. Her eyes widened slightly and the patterns on her skin brightened. She blinked and smiled softly, but there was something different in her expression. Alex frowned. "Did I say something wrong?" She shook her head gently. No, it is unusual." She moved closer and adjusted the instruments around him, her hands gentle and precise. "You are fortunate, dear one." Alex tilted his head. "Unusual, you mean? I called you dear?" He chuckled weakly, thinking it was a small joke. "I didn't mean anything by it." Her smile grew slightly warmer, but there was a faint glow in her eyes that made Alex feel a little nervous. He didn't understand, but he didn't want to make her upset. "My name is Lyra," she said, placing a soft hand on a control panel. "I will care for you. You must rest. Your injuries are serious, but you will recover." Alex tried to sit up again, curiosity winning over pain. Where am I?" "You are in the medical facility of my planet," she replied. "It is equipped to handle injuries such as yours. You were found unconscious near the mining site." Alex's mind raced. Another planet? Alien nurses? He must be dreaming. Or maybe he had been knocked unconscious in some strange accident, and his imagination was running wild. Yet the hospital looked real, and the humming of the machines was real. And Lyra was real. He tried to speak again. How did I get here?" Lyra hesitated slightly, then said, "Your transport was activated automatically when your life signs were detected. You were brought here for immediate care." Alex nodded slowly. He felt exhausted, but a small sense of wonder grew inside him. "I guess I owe you my life, Lyra." She tilted her head, the shifting patterns on her skin forming small, intricate shapes that seemed almost like writing. "You owe nothing. You are alive. That is enough." For the next few hours, Alex drifted between waking and sleeping. He noticed how Lyra moved around him. She did not rush or panic. She monitored his vital signs, adjusted his bed for comfort, and gave him small doses of glowing liquids that eased his pain. Everything she did was precise, almost ritualistic, yet kind. Occasionally, she would glance at him and her gaze made his chest tighten. He could not explain why. There was a warmth there, a care that went beyond professional duty. He tried to focus on the sensation of relief spreading through his body instead. During a brief moment of clarity, Alex asked, "Do you have many patients here?" "Yes," she replied. "But you are special." She said the word softly, her glowing patterns pulsing gently. Alex frowned. "Special?" "Yes," she said almost in a whisper. "You are chosen." Alex laughed weakly, thinking she was joking. "Chosen? Chosen for what?" "A special duty. Am I going to be a space hero or something?" Lyra shook her head, her gaze softening. "No, chosen. In my culture, it means something rare, something significant." Alex tilted his head, trying to understand. "Like a lucky patient?" He smiled faintly despite the pain. "More than lucky," Lyra said. She adjusted a device over his chest and a soft hum filled the air. The light on the device shifted from green to a gentle gold. "It means you are the one I must care for beyond what is normal." Alex's brow furrowed. Beyond normal? Yes, Lyra said simply. She placed a hand near his forehead and a warm sensation spread through him. You are my dear one. Alex froze. The word was familiar. It was the word he had spoken earlier without thinking. He stared at her, realizing the connection. Wait, you mean, because I called you dear? Lyra nodded slightly. Yes, in my society, words carry power. You spoke a word that is sacred to our bonds. Now I must treat you as the one chosen. Alex leaned back, trying to process it. He had no idea his careless word could have such importance.
Chosen like a mate?
He asked, voice barely above a whisper. Lyra's patterns glimmered softly, and she shook her head. The word is stronger than that. It signifies devotion, care, protection, a bond that must not be broken. You are my dear, and I will care for you in every way I can. Alex swallowed hard. His human mind struggled to understand. He wanted to laugh, but the seriousness in her voice made him hesitate. I just didn't mean it like that, he said. Lyra smiled gently, not harshly. Intentions are understood. What matters now is the bond created. It cannot be undone easily. But do not fear. You are safe, and I will ensure your recovery. The rest of the day passed slowly. Alex received nourishment, treatment, and rest. Lyra's presence was constant, her attention careful yet warm. He noticed small things. She adjusted the temperature for his comfort, moved objects closer to him before he asked, and seemed to anticipate his needs. Even when he drifted off to sleep, he felt her near, watching, ensuring nothing could harm him. The hospital staff noticed the difference. Other nurses whispered softly, glancing at Lyra with curiosity and respect. They knew the significance of the bond she had formed with Alex. By the time the evening light dimmed into the alien night, Alex realized something strange. He was no longer just a patient. He was under her care in a way humans would never fully understand, and though he didn't yet fully comprehend the meaning of dear in her culture, he could feel the warmth and seriousness of the bond forming. For the first time since the accident, he felt a strange sense of safety, an alien safety unlike anything on Earth or even in the deep space colonies. He closed his eyes, letting himself rest, even as his mind buzzed with questions he didn't yet know how to ask. And somewhere deep in the hospital, Lyra's glowing pattern shifted in quiet joy, marking the beginning of a bond that would change both their lives forever. Alex woke slowly the next morning. His body still ached, but the pain had eased. He stretched carefully and noticed Lyra already nearby, adjusting the soft glow of the room's lights and checking the monitors around him. Her movements were calm and graceful, and her patterns shifted gently with each motion. Good morning, Alex said, attempting a weak smile. Good morning, Lyra replied, her voice smooth and gentle. You slept well. Your body has begun healing faster than expected. Alex tried to sit up. Faster than expected, I guess. Your technology is incredible. Lyra's patterns glimmered slightly, almost like laughter. It is not only technology. It is the combination of care, attention, and energy we focus on healing. And now your presence has significance, Alex frowned. Significance? He asked. He remembered the previous day, the way she had reacted when he called her dear. A small chill ran down his spine as he thought of it. Yes, Lyra said softly. In my culture, a word can create bonds. The word you spoke, dear, is sacred. You unintentionally bound yourself to me. Now I must treat you with devotion and care beyond normal practice. Alex leaned back, blinking. Bound? Wait. Are you saying it's because I said that word? Lyra nodded. Yes, words in our society carry weight. Saying dear is not casual. It designates someone as chosen, someone to protect and care for with deep respect. Even if unintentional, the bond exists now. Alex ran a hand over his face. I didn't mean anything by it. It was just a reflex. Lyra's gaze softened. Intentions are recognized. But the bond is real. You are my dear, and I must care for you. She smiled faintly, tilting her head. It is rare for a human to speak this word. You are unusual and worthy of attention. Alex swallowed. He didn't know whether to feel embarrassed or fascinated. Unusual? I'm just a minor. How could I be unusual to someone like you? Lyra's patterns shifted, forming small intricate shapes that flickered like tiny stars. Your actions, your bravery, and now, your word. They make you unusual. Worthy of being treated specially. Alex felt his face warm. He looked away, unsure what to say. He could feel her attention and devotion, and it made him both nervous and grateful. He didn't understand fully, but he could sense her care was different from anything he had ever experienced. For the next few hours, Lyra attended to his recovery. She checked his vitals, adjusted his therapy devices, and even prepared food suited to his human biology. She hovered near him, her movements precise but gentle. Every now and then she would glance at him with a soft intensity, as if measuring his well-being. Alex noticed other staff whispering quietly among themselves. He couldn't understand the language, but he could tell from their expressions that they were aware of something special happening. They nodded respectfully toward Lyra and cast curious glances at him. At one point, a small robotic assistant brought a tray of food. Lyra took it from the robot and set it carefully on the table beside Alex. She adjusted its temperature, texture, and seasoning to suit his human taste. "Eat slowly," she said. "Your body needs energy to heal, and you are important to me." Alex's hand froze in midair. "Important? To you?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, you are my chosen, my dear one. Your safety, comfort, and recovery are my responsibility. I will not allow harm to come to you while I am here." Alex hesitated, then smiled faintly. "I guess I should say, thank you again for caring so much." Lyra's gaze softened even more. "You do not need to thank me. It is natural to care for someone who is chosen. And I sense your appreciation. That is enough." After eating, Alex tried to stand, testing his strength. He nearly toppled, and Lyra's hand was there instantly, steadying him. "Careful," she warned. "You are still weak. You must not rush." I just feel restless," Alex admitted. "I want to understand more about your world. About this culture." Lyra tilted her head. "You wish to learn, it is good. Understanding strengthens trust. But you must respect the ways of our society. Certain actions and words are sacred. You have already created one sacred bond unintentionally. Others must be approached with care." Alex nodded slowly. "I'll try. I want to understand. I just don't want to make things worse." "Do not worry," Lyra said. "You are learning, and I will guide you." Over the next day, Alex observed the hospital. He noticed how the staff moved silently and efficiently. Every action was deliberate, every sound purposeful. Yet Lyra moved differently around him than she did around others. She anticipated his needs, adjusted his environment for comfort, and even engaged in conversations that seemed meant to soothe him rather than simply inform. He began to see subtle gestures, how she leaned slightly closer when speaking, how her glowing patterns would shift gently when he looked at her, and how she would watch his reactions carefully. Her care was personal, not just professional. At night, as Alex drifted into a light sleep, he overheard Lyra speaking softly to another nurse. He couldn't understand all the words, but he caught one phrase repeated. "Chosen, dear one, must protect." His heart skipped. She was talking about him, recognizing the bond he had unknowingly created. Alex felt a strange mix of emotions, embarrassment, curiosity, and a growing sense of trust. He realized that, even though he had no idea how to navigate this alien culture, Lyra's devotion was sincere. It wasn't just obligation. It was care, respect, and something deeper. The next morning, Alex decided to ask more questions. "Lyra, this bond, does it have rules? What happens now?" Lyra's eyes softened and her patterns glimmered like gentle stars. "There are customs. The word dear creates a connection that must be honored. You are considered chosen. I will protect you, guide you, and care for you. Others will respect this bond, as will you. It is a path that begins now, whether you fully understand it or not." Alex took a deep breath. I want to understand. I want to respect it. I don't fully know what it means yet, but I don't want to break it." Lyra's smile grew warm and bright. "Then you are wise. Learning is the first step. The bond is not only about care, it is about trust, understanding, and growth. You are safe here, and I will be by your side until you are fully healed." The rest of the day passed with Alex asking questions about Lyra's culture, their healing techniques, and the hospital's technology. Lyra answered patiently, guiding him through complex ideas in simple, understandable terms. Alex felt a new respect for her and for the civilization she represented. By evening, Alex understood a little more. He realized that the bond he had accidentally created was not merely symbolic. It carried real responsibility, trust, and connection. Lyra's attention was not just personal preference. It was a recognition of his worth, bravery, and humanity in a world far different from his own. He felt a quiet admiration for her and a growing sense of belonging, even though he was far from Earth, and he knew that his life had changed in ways he could not yet fully understand, all because of one careless word. As he drifted into sleep, Lyra sat nearby, watching over him. Her patterns glimmered softly, the colors flowing like a river of light. In the quiet hospital room, an unspoken bond deepened, signaling the start of a relationship that would test, challenge, and transform both of them. Days passed and Alex continued to recover under Lyra's care. Each morning, he woke to find her already preparing his environment, adjusting lights, temperature, and even the subtle sounds that filled the room. Her presence was constant, her attention unwavering, and the glow of her shifting patterns always seemed to brighten when he opened his eyes. Alex had begun to understand more about her culture. Words in her society carried meaning beyond what humans could imagine. A single word, a single gesture could create bonds lasting a lifetime. His careless deer had done exactly that. Now Lyra treated him with a devotion reserved for the rarest and most meaningful connections. At first, Alex had felt awkward and embarrassed. He was used to independence, to handling situations on his own. But he could not deny the comfort and warmth Lyra's presence brought. Even her silence was reassuring, and he found himself watching her as she moved, fascinated by the way her skin glimmered and shifted like living light. One afternoon, as Alex tried to sit up without assistance, he stumbled slightly. Lyra's hand shot out instantly, steadying him. "Careful," she said softly. "You must not risk your recovery." "I know," Alex admitted, rubbing his side. I want to understand more. About you, your people, and this bond." Lyra's gaze softened and her patterns shifted slowly. "You wish to learn? It is good. Understanding strengthens trust. But you must know this bond carries expectations. The word you spoke did not create a casual connection. It designates responsibility. I must care for you in ways that go beyond normal practice, and you must respect this bond." Alex nodded. "I will. I want to. I just don't fully understand yet." Over the next few days, Lyra began teaching Alex small rituals and customs of her culture. They were subtle things: how to sit during meals, how to address others, even the way to respond to small gestures of respect. Each action was tied to meaning. By following them, Alex showed respect for her society and acknowledged the bond between them. During one session, Alex asked, "Lyra, do others always treat chosen ones this way, or am I special?" Lyra's patterns flickered gently, forming shapes that seemed almost like stars. "Chosen ones are rare. When a bond is formed, the chosen receives attention, care, and guidance. You are special, yes, but not only because of the word. You are special because of your actions, your courage, your compassion, and your willingness to understand." Alex felt a mix of pride and humility. I didn't do anything heroic. I just survived." Lyra shook her head. "Survival is not enough. It is how one faces challenges that matters. You acted with thought, even in danger. That matters to me. That matters to our society." As the days went on, Alex noticed other humans and aliens in the hospital taking interest in his situation. Some whispered quietly, glancing at him and Lyra with curiosity. Others watched with respect. It became clear to Alex that this bond was recognized not just by Lyra, but by the society around her. One evening, a visiting dignitary arrived at the hospital. Alex had not realized how important the situation had become. The dignitary observed Lyra's care, noting her unwavering attention toward Alex. "This human," the dignitary said in their melodic language, "he has been chosen by you?" Lyra's gaze was steady. "Yes, his word created the bond. His presence requires my care and protection. This is not casual. It is significant." Alex swallowed nervously. He felt the weight of her words, the depth of the bond he had unwittingly created. He wanted to step back, to protest, but he could not deny the connection forming between them. During the visit, a minor emergency occurred. A young patient in the hospital had a sudden reaction to their treatment, and Lyra moved instantly, her hands glowing softly as she stabilized the situation. Alex watched her in awe, seeing the precision, skill, and care she exhibited. Without thinking, he moved to assist, offering suggestions based on his engineering knowledge. Lyra glanced at him, her eyes widening slightly in surprise. He had not been trained for this, yet his understanding of technology helped save the patient. After the emergency passed, she placed her hand on his shoulder, her patterns glowing warmly. You acted wisely. Courage and thoughtfulness. This is why the bond is fitting. You are worthy of trust. Alex felt his heart race. He had never imagined that he could play a role in something so important on an alien world. He looked at Lyra, realizing that her devotion was not only due to the word he had spoken, it was because she recognized his character. That night, Alex could not sleep. He lay in bed, thinking about the bond, the responsibilities, and the society he barely understood. Lyra sat nearby, watching him, her presence comforting even in the darkness. I don't fully understand this bond, Alex admitted quietly, but I feel like I'm supposed to trust it. Trust you? Lyra's smile was gentle, her patterns shimmering softly. Trust is the foundation. The bond is built on care, respect, and understanding. You are safe. You are valued. And you are learning, as all must who enter such a connection. Alex nodded slowly. I will try. I want to understand, Lyra. I want to respect the bond and learn your ways, but I don't want to make mistakes. You will not make mistakes if your intentions are true, Lyra said. Actions guided by respect, thought, and care are never wrong. You have already shown this. That is why you are fitting for the bond. Over the next few days, Alex became more comfortable with his role. He helped with small tasks around the hospital, learning alien techniques and contributing to minor repairs of the devices that supported patient care. Lyra observed him closely, offering guidance, correcting mistakes gently, and praising his successes. Slowly, Alex began to understand the depth of Lyra's devotion. It was not mere professional duty. She was deeply committed to his well-being, watching him constantly, ensuring his needs were met before he even asked. Her care was meticulous, thorough, and personal. He also realized something else. Her presence made him feel calm, safe, and oddly at home. He had traveled through space, survived accidents, and faced dangers he had never imagined. Yet in this alien hospital with Lyra nearby, he felt a peace he had never known. One afternoon, as they shared a quiet moment in the hospital's courtyard, Alex asked, Lyra, why me? Why did a single word create such a bond? Lyra's patterns shifted gently, the colors flowing like a river of light. The word itself carries power, but power alone is not enough. Your actions, your character, and your presence align with our values. That is why the bond exists. You are compatible with this connection, even unknowingly. Alex smiled faintly, feeling the warmth of her gaze. So it's more than just words? Yes, Lyra said softly. It is action, intention, respect, and understanding. You have shown all of these even without knowing. That is why the bond is fitting. As evening fell, Alex reflected on the days he had spent recovering. He had entered the hospital as a confused, injured human. Now he understood that his life had changed irrevocably. The bond he had accidentally created was real, recognized by Lyra and by her society. And it was built not only on words, but on his character. He looked at her, and for the first time, he felt a deep admiration, respect, and a quiet affection. He did not yet fully understand the alien ways, but he wanted to. He wanted to honor the bond, learn their customs, and meet Lyra's devotion with his own care. Lyra, watching him, saw the change in his eyes, the growing recognition of the bond, the respect and the willingness to understand. She knew that this was the beginning of a deeper connection, one that would continue to grow as he learned more about her culture and as she shared her life with him. That night, as Alex drifted into sleep, he felt a gentle warmth in the room. Lyra's presence was near, her patterns shimmering softly. He understood in a quiet, unspoken way that his life had taken a new path, one of trust, care, and a bond that crossed the boundaries of species and worlds. And in that quiet hospital, far from Earth, a human and an alien nurse began a journey together, learning, understanding, and discovering a connection that neither could have predicted, but both would come to honor. Alex woke to the soft glow of the hospital room, the light streaming through the translucent walls in gentle patterns. His body had healed more than he expected, and for the first time he felt strong enough to move without fear. Lyra was already nearby, her presence calm and radiant, her skin patterns shimmering softly as she prepared his morning treatment. "Good morning," she said, her voice melodic and soothing. "Morning," Alex replied, sitting up slowly. He flexed his arms and legs, noting the strength returning to his body. "I think I'm almost ready to move on my own now." Lyra's gaze softened. "Yes, your recovery is almost complete. But remember, the bond we share continues. Strength is important, but so is understanding, respect, and trust." Alex smiled faintly. "I understand, Lyra. I've been thinking. I want to learn more. About you, your people, and everything about this bond. I want to do it right." Her patterns glimmered gently, almost like approval. "Then we will begin. Learning is the path to understanding and strengthening the bond. You have already shown patience, care, and respect. These are the foundations." Over the next few hours, Lyra guided Alex through the customs and rituals that marked a chosen connection in her culture. They shared meals prepared together, each ingredient selected with care, each movement and gesture holding symbolic meaning. Lyra explained the significance of every action, and Alex listened intently, absorbing as much as he could. At first, he stumbled, forgetting small details, but Lyra corrected him gently, always with patience and a soft smile. "You are learning," she would say. "That is more important than perfection." As days passed, Alex became more comfortable with the routines. He noticed how the hospital staff treated him with respect, acknowledging the bond they recognized. He felt a sense of belonging, something he had never experienced in human space colonies or mining camps. Lyra's devotion, once mysterious and overwhelming, had become a steady presence he could rely on. One afternoon, while they were walking through a garden in the hospital courtyard, Alex spoke quietly. "Lyra, I think I understand now. The bond isn't just about care. It's about trust, respect, and connection. It's about being there for someone, even when they don't fully understand it yet." Lyra's eyes glimmered warmly. "Exactly. You are beginning to see it as we do. The bond is more than words. It is actions, intentions, and mutual understanding. You honor it by learning, by listening, and by being present." Alex looked at her, feeling a strange mix of admiration and affection. "I never imagined that a single word could mean so much. I didn't even think about it when I said it. But now I feel lucky. Lucky that it connected me to you, to this world, and to something bigger than myself." Lyra's patterns shimmered brighter, flowing gently across her skin. "And I am lucky as well. Your presence, your actions, and your willingness to learn make this bond meaningful. You have grown not only in body but in understanding and spirit." As evening fell, Alex helped Lyra prepare a symbolic gesture, a tradition in her culture to mark the bond's acceptance. Together they arranged glowing orbs in a circle around the courtyard. Lyra explained that the orbs represented trust, protection, care, and mutual respect. Placing one at a time, Alex felt the weight of each action, realizing that the bond was now something he actively participated in, not just something that happened to him. When the last orb was placed, Lyra stepped closer to him. Her patterns shimmered softly and she extended her hand. Alex took it, feeling the warmth and gentle energy flowing between them. "This is the bond," she said. "It is official in our society. You are my chosen, my dear one. I am yours to protect and guide, as you are mine to respect and trust." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of responsibility and connection. I accept it, Lyra. Fully. I will honor it and I will learn. Thank you for guiding me, for caring for me, and for trusting me." Lyra's patterns pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. "Then our bond is complete. But it is only the beginning. Trust, understanding, and care will continue to grow. Together we will face challenges, share knowledge, and protect one another." Over the next few days, Alex and Lyra spent time deepening their connection. They practiced rituals, shared stories about their lives, and explored parts of the hospital Alex had never seen. He marveled at the technology, the glowing gardens, and the way every aspect of the facility was designed for harmony, healing, and connection. Lyra observed him carefully, teaching not only the technical and cultural knowledge but also the values behind each action. Alex realized that the bond was not only emotional but also intellectual. He was learning to think in ways aligned with her society's principles: respect for life, attentiveness to detail, and mindfulness in every action. One evening, Alex looked at Lyra as she adjusted the ambient lights in his room. Lyra, I feel different now. Stronger, calmer, like I belong somewhere. Like this bond gives me purpose. Lyra smiled softly, her patterns glowing warmly. That is the gift of the bond. It is not just a duty, it is a connection that nurtures both parties. You have grown, and you will continue to grow. Alex nodded, feeling a deep appreciation for her guidance. I never imagined that one word could lead to all this. I was careless, but it brought me here, to you, to this understanding, and I am grateful for it. Lyra's gaze softened, and she reached out, gently placing a hand on his shoulder. Care and gratitude are mutual. You are brave, intelligent, and respectful. These qualities honor the bond, just as your word created it. In the following days, Alex's strength returned fully. He could move freely, engage in light activities, and even assist Lyra with more complex tasks in the hospital. Their interactions became more natural, comfortable, and joyful. Laughter occasionally filled the halls, and Alex realized he had found not only a bond, but also a friend, mentor, and guide in Lyra. As his final day at the hospital approached, Alex reflected on the journey. He had arrived confused, injured, and unaware of the cultural significance of his words. Now he was healed, knowledgeable, and connected. He understood the bond fully, not just as a duty, but as a shared experience of care, trust, and mutual respect. When the day came for him to leave the hospital, Lyra accompanied him to the transport bay. Her patterns glimmered softly, the colors flowing like gentle waves of light. Alex turned to her, smiling. Thank you, Lyra, for everything. I will honor the bond, and I will never forget what I learned here. And you. Lyra's gaze softened, her hand resting lightly on his. And I will always honor you, Alex. The bond is more than a word. It is a connection between two beings built on understanding, care, and respect. You have proven yourself worthy, and now it is part of your life. Alex felt a surge of gratitude, affection, and determination. I will continue to learn, Lyra. I will not take this for granted. Lyra nodded, a soft smile on her face. Then our bond will continue even when you are far from here. It is not limited to place or time. You carry it with you, and so do I. As Alex boarded the transport, he looked back one last time. Lyra stood there, radiant, serene, and unwavering. In that moment, he understood fully. His careless word had started a journey, but the bond they shared was real, enduring, and transformative. And as the transport lifted off, carrying him toward new adventures and unknown worlds, Alex felt a deep, unshakable certainty. His life had changed forever, not because of luck or chance, but because of care, respect, and a single word that connected him to an extraordinary being, Lyra, his chosen, his dear, and his guide into a larger, brighter universe.